Welcome back, everyone, to the front line with Joe and Joe Pasillo and Joe Rossinello, and let us go into the breach. Joe, you know what? Nauseates me. I mean, well, a lot of things nauseate me. We just did a video on Justin Trudeau. He nauseates me. Like I said, you must have a cast iron stomach for all the coverage you did of that guy. What nauseates me is little know-it-all, particularly female liberal reporters. She's gonna get RFK. She's gonna get him with a gotcha question. And listen, I have some fundamental differences with the guy, and depending on how things shake out, don't know if he's part of Trump's ticket. If that happens, if I'm going to vote for Trump, I don't know. I have to wait for more information. What I do think, and what you have said on this show at the front line with Joe and Joe, is he's objective. He's a straight shooter. He is an American. He believes in American institutions, and it's just and that's why they hate him, because he acts as an American. He, like I said, he respects the rule of law and the like. But these little dweeby reporters, they think they know it all. Joe, I'm not going to play this whole thing. Just want to watch it for about a minute. But listen to the way she phrases her question.
So I wanted to start with sort of the landscape around your campaign. You know, you've got a Republican mega donor funding one of your main super PACs. You've got Ron DeSantis saying he'd put you in his cabinet. Key allies of Donald Trump are saying they want you to be Trump's running mate. Why are you Republicans' favorite Democrat?
Well, you know, I started out this campaign saying that I wanted to end the toxic polarization that is dividing America, that I think is as dangerous as any time since the American Civil War. And, you know, a lot of people agree with that. A lot of Americans agree with that. They talk about the future in apocalyptical terms because of the division and don't see where there's a good end. And I feel like somebody needs to stand up and stop talking so much, focusing so much on the issues that divide us, and talk instead about the values that bring us together. And I will talk to anybody. You know, I'm happy to talk to Donald Trump or Joe Biden. I don't attack either of them personally. I talk about their issues critically.
But for Democratic voters, when they hear that a Republican is funding one of your PACs, maybe that gives them pause.
Well, but he's not the only funder in my PAC.
But he's a big one.
Well, yeah, but I've got ones that are equally big who are Democrats. I think that's a good thing.
You see the way he put her in her place? You see what they're trying to say? You're a right-winger because right-wingers support you. How about what he said? How about, Joe, let's say for argument's sake, because we might be left with a choice where, as Catholics, we can't vote for somebody who's going to be like a Joe Biden or a Nancy Pelosi on abortion, but we could, in fact, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, we could vote for someone who, let's say, I think you educated me, RFK Jr., I think, is in favor of abortion in the first trimester.
Now, I read that on the Epoch Times, 3 months. Now, I'm not for that.
I'm not for that.
No, I know that. I just want to make people to be clear.
Right. No, I'm clear. Yes. Thank you. No, but I could vote for him if the other person is a Joe Biden or Nancy Pelosi or Gavin Newsom, who's also Catholic, who thinks babies can be killed after they're born. In that case, I could vote for RFK Jr. Now, what if I'm a rich guy? And what if I say, you know what, I'm done with Donald Trump. I don't agree with him on abortion, certainly, but he's normal, he's sane, relatively objective. Maybe we're not going to get wacko judges out of him. Maybe we won't get Amy Coney Barrett or Kavanaugh. But guess what? I'm going to throw $1 million into this campaign. I have $100 million. I like to see him mix things up a little bit, and I'm a registered Republican. Why does that make me evil or him evil? But you see the little dweeby reporter? But what about Democrats who see a Republican, a rich Republican, who's going to put money into your campaign? Don't you think that gives them pause? What about all the what do you call them? The Republicans that detested Donald Trump and supported Joe Biden? Would she have anything to say about that? Joe, I'm going to throw all that over to you for your comments.
Well, you know, I think he just told the truth. And I think he did it well, because when you don't lie, there's nothing to make up. He just said, well, there's a lot of people who give me money, and he told why, but they're not about bringing people together. That was the lie. They want people to be divided. That's part of how they gained their power. They want people to be bickering. They've divided this nation in a way that it's never been divided before. As he just said, maybe as far back as the Civil War. They've succeeded in that, and the press fuels it. There is no reason for it, if you ask me. We could agree to disagree. You don't like Donald Trump, don't vote for him. But don't be irrational, and don't, frankly, be delusional about the reasons why you're not voting for him. But if you don't want to vote for him, just don't. But that doesn't give you or anyone else the right to hurt people, to be hateful,
or to silence people.
because that's not a democracy.
Let me tell you, so you know how the word phobia, they always take the word phobe. You're such a phobe, and they'll just put a word in front of it. But and remember what a phobia is. The definition of the word is an irrational fear of a thing. So they say you're a homophobe. You have an irrational fear of homosexuals, or you're a Islamophobe because you have an irrational fear of Muslims. And they always use the word phobe. They are the most. I can make an argument against homosexuality. I think I can make an argument against those Muslims who are violent in the world. Okay, that doesn't make you a phobe. It's actually a pretty rational argument. When it comes to Trump, Joe, I think you could appropriately call them Trumpophobes because they have an irrational reaction to him, a purely irrational reaction. Because if they judged him on the issues, a lot of these people would vote for him, but they won't do that because the media and the machine has told them you need to hate
100%. And people, you see that with people, they just repeat talking points. Tyrus, who's on Gutfeld, said something I remember. He said, if you turn off the news, stop listening or watching Twitter feeds or reading Twitter, and just looked at the outcome of Trump's policies, you'd like them. But the media, it's not about the outcomes that they're looking at. It's about the power. You see, that's what people aren't getting. One, the establishment doesn't represent you. You can't afford to support them. I've said that time and time again. Get that through your head. The working Democrat. Get that through your head. Point two, the media can support themselves under Joe Biden or under a secular humanist policy, under a Gavin Newsom, and they are manipulating you.
Yep.
Spewing their talking points because it helps them. It cements them, and it doesn't help you.
But that's why they hate this guy.
And he's a Democrat. You see,
Right.
that shows it. He is a Democrat.
And they've already said they're not going to debate him.
Because he threatens that establishment, uniparty, base, call it whatever you want, too. And there, it's not about democracy. It's not about justice. It's not about equality. It's not about race. It's about power.
Mm.
And anyone that threatens that power, here you have a Democrat, a traditional Democrat. We're not having it.
Let me tell you something. I probably
people
would
have
not.
to connect, Joe. I'll be honest with you. It's because of tribalism. And why do people cling to a tribe? Because they don't have families, strong families. They don't have anything that moors them. Our country is not moored.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was like, if you go back to, let's say, John F. Kennedy, if you go back to Harry Truman, okay, Harry Truman was an American. He believed in unifying Americans. JFK was an American. He believed in unifying the country. LBJ was just a crook and a racist. So he's just a one-off. Jimmy Carter, I disagree with on so many things. I believe in his heart. He wants to be a moral man. Obviously, I don't know how you can support abortion, but nonetheless, Jimmy Carter was an anti-American. But starting with Michael Dukakis, and yeah, please don't tell me Clinton was a unifier. Clinton was just slick when it came to the way he used to sow division.
But you talk about Clinton, how dysfunctional of a person that he was. Look at the family structure that he came from. His father died in a ditch, Joe. Died in a ditch.
Mm-hmm.
Women coming through, his mother, single family, broken person. Look at Barack Obama's family, abandoned by his father, abandoned by his mother. You don't think that those wounds aren't still real inside of him? This is my point. These are wounded people who just happen
But
to be smart and powerful.
No, I know
I
you're
don't make
not
excuses for
I
them,
was
but
going to say, I know you're not giving them. I know you're not making excuses for them. But ultimately, though, regardless of their motivation, and I will tend to agree with you because Barack Obama is a wounded man sitting on tens of millions of dollars because he became president of the United States. He's another slickster. Him, Clinton, they all became super duper duper wealthy. We know the Biden crime family became super duper duper wealthy. So we know all about. I understand that they're wounded, and I would agree with you on that. But nonetheless, we have to fight them tooth and nail
oh, of
because I'm
course,
not going
I'm
to have.
not.
Look,
Believe me,
I'm wounded too, to a degree. We're all wounded to a degree.
I'm
I
not
don't need
making
their wounds
excuses.
being projected on me or you or our families or anybody else. Joe, I'll give you the final word.
I'm not making I'm just
I
telling you
know.
the realities, and what I'm trying to say is that's why people are unmoored. You see, people who are moored in something that's substantive, like God, like family, don't buy into the tribe. And if you're not part of the tribe, you could think objectively and you could see that these people don't, both Republicans and Democrats, they don't represent the people of America anymore. But I believe in the tribe because I have nothing else. And that's where America is in large part. 5 out of 10 people come from broken homes. They don't have any ties that bind. The ties that bind, frankly, are what's on the internet. The stupid political pundit show that they listen to, the people that they drink themselves into a stupor with and then sleep with and have broken relationships with. That is 50% of America, both Democrat and Republican. And that's why we have our problems. If you don't belong to the tribe, you're moored. And if you're moored, you don't buy the BS. And there's not enough people who are. And that's why America doesn't work anymore.
Well, let's hope something happens to straighten it out. I'd like to see an act of God, me personally. Let's leave it there. Thank you for joining us at the front line with Joe and Joe. Remember, wherever you see us, particularly on Twitter and Rumble, like, subscribe, share, follow, do all that fun stuff. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.
To all my Canadian American friends, if you like what we do on the front line, I'm asking you to give $1, just $1. Production costs money. We do it for you. We are self-funded, and $1 goes a long way. That's less than a cup of coffee. In Canada, a cup of coffee might cost $5. So you're getting off easy. Please just give us $1 and we'll keep the content coming your way. God bless you. And remember, stay free.